one thing I'm curious about is, can I use SOL to perform an exchange? And I don't know if my program, as it's currently built, allows it. So I'm gonna just try. Let's say I use SOL, and let's do one SOL. Actually, let's see what I've got balance-wise. I've got 3 of this token, 0 of this token. Say I'm trying to get this token, okay? And I'm gonna pay 1 SOL for the ASB mint and this token, and I want, I don't know, say 0.5 of it. Not sure. I haven't done anything that should support this, but let's see. Yeah, escrow inputs are invalid. If I go to my logs, mint to checked, everything's good. Nothing's changed there. So if I go to the layout and scroll inputs, yeah, add validation, has required inputs. That's right. So user store details. Okay. Yeah, so let's see. Because I've taken note. Like, I know that I need to consider I think I need to address this SOL, because this has come up a few times in different parts of the app. It's like I need to be able to support SOL. So it's still in the initialize. Hang on, calculate. That's not right. Let's see. Function calculate token amount conversion. Oh, create token. Yeah, so let's see. Let's split this. Where are we at? This one is creating tokens. So handle initialize. Yeah, here we are. Obviously, this part is not getting checked. Okay, so if I do has required, what is it again? User store, out token mint, it's not null. All these are not null. Well, let's see what happens here. When we do initialize, So where am I setting? Where am I setting user store dot, let's say, out token mint? Because I'm doing this a few places. Okay, so here in the set selected token balance, form state out token mint, which should be whatever I put here. If it's set to that, set to SOL, then we grab the SOL balance, which it's doing, and I set that out token mint to be the SOL public key, which I found. So let's see here. Out token mint, out token ATA, setting it to the wallet pub key, because we're talking about SOL. Yeah, I still need to update my escrow to allow SOL. Yeah, this is something that's you know, we're slowly but surely cleaning up the UI, but eventually I need to be able to allow the transfer of just SOL for a different token. And I believe setting that is there. Out token decimals. That may be stale. I'm not sure. Because like, where am I setting decimals? I don't know why. I'm not sure why it has 8. I think that may just be something I've missed. Maybe when I was like minting creating the tokens and ATAs and minting, I feel like that may be what's happening there. So, I mean, but like going down the list, I've got out token mint. It's going to be the SOL pub key. Out token ATA is going to be the actual wallet. The decimals, okay, shows that I've got a value. I need to check on that. The out token amount, that's null. That was null. Out token, I mean, if I do like 1, right, of SOL, check the user store, out token amount, it's not getting or the raw amounts. So the amounts are not getting. Why aren't I? I mean, I'm setting. Where do I do the amounts for these? Other. On change. Setting all the amounts to null. Like every time it changes this, we're clearing everything. You know, but then it's been a while since I've looked at what I was doing with this in the past. Previously, you know, I was handling like this on change event and pulling the tokens and such, but I need to like handle the out token amount. If there is an amount, but I wouldn't have. Handle out token amount input, which should be this. So this is kind of strange because I'm setting the amount and raw amount to be null. Clear any existing. Is this even working, really? I don't even know if that's really working because I'm setting these to null, and then this is the balance. Hang on, form state out token amount. And the user store out token raw balance. Okay. Yeah, this may not be, this may be part of the problem, because I'm trying to update seller store, update, let's correct that. It's actually user store values now. So when I go to any other token, we know it's working for other tokens for the most part. The setting and updating the user store value. So if I go here, user store raw token or out token raw amount. Yeah, I kind of feel like this may be screwing me up, to be honest, because when is this ever going to be true? Like, this will always be false if I'm, maybe it won't, because these are user store versus form state. But yeah, something about this seems raw balance, out token decimals, and then an amount. So type in 1.2. I should have an amount. Okay. And do I have a raw amount? I do now. Okay, so that worked. But when I change it to SOL, and I type in, say, 1.2, go over here. It's probably not a good idea because I don't know if it's actually, let me go back. If I go over here and change it to 0.8, for example. Now, go back over here. Hey, okay, wait a minute. So out token amount is 0.8, and the raw token or out token raw amount is that. Okay. And let's say I want this token. I should now have a out token mint, or no, an in token mint. Don't have anything on the amounts, but I have an in token mint. That checks. I need an in token amount. In token amount. This is stale. This is stale. I have a in token amount. Oh, but I haven't even set one. So let me see, a 0.8 SOL for 0.3. Okay, let's first enter in everything correctly. So in token amount 0.3. There is a mint, yeah? There's an out token amount and raw amount. Decimals, still need to double check that that's correct. When I try to initialize escrow, well, it actually tried to run. It fired the initialize. Out token ATA, which is the wallet. There's even an escrow PDA that was found. However, uncaught, non-base 58 character. Handle initialize 1183. Out token mint. Well, hang on. I'm already setting it to a public key. And this is reading from form state, which is fine. That's a string. But form state. Yeah. Set selected out token mint. This is a public key. But user store is that. And that's creating Here I was trying to reset the form state after and initialize to see if that would work. Probably could delete that, but I don't know if that's the problem. Yeah. Yeah, this seems to be any other token. And we're probably doing okay if I did like 0.7 of this token. And let's do 0.3 of that. I feel like the out token ATA changes correctly to match, but this is in token amount. See, that's right. Out token amount, balance, decimals, blah, 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 blah. I feel like, okay, I can initialize that. I feel as if I'm clearly mishandling the SOL, like public key. Form state out token mint. Here, I don't think I mean, this was handy. It does a fresh fetch and resets it, resets the menu back to the drop down to SOL, which is fine. All right, if this is the case, if it's SOL, then yeah, crap, huh? What's going on? Where am I? Where is the... Where's the issue? I feel... I mean, on change, on... set selected. All right. I gotta think through this a bit. This is, yeah. Gotta think through this one a bit. So, the balances and such are correct. I feel like it's doing, I mean, it is working fairly well so far, especially with other tokens. The problem is that form state out token meant, you know, we're passing form state out token meant to the as an account. When I do any other token here or here, these are form state dot out token meant is a string. It's pointing to a string value, just like this. But this is an easy. You convert this to a public key. It's already that's easy. This SOL SOL string does not work. So I think I don't have to really change much. What I do need to do is maybe, obviously inside the init, I feel I mean, again, like this has required, like, it should have a value. Like it's going to be SOL, you know? But so I don't know why I got that error the first time. I may have just, I need to do this again a few times to make sure I don't encounter any obvious bugs. But I feel like if you pass in all of these things, if you pass it, you know, like, okay, it's an empty escrow store. Cool, we can go through. Now this, like I said earlier, this kind of defeats the purpose. And what am I using? I've got, not really using escrow store anymore to pass these values. You know, I'm actually pulling from other areas like custom program store, form state, like what's actually entered into the form, user store, and the local escrow PDA value. Same with this escrowed out token, local, all this is local. So, you know, I kind of feel, I don't even know if this is necessary anymore. Because I would like to make this check. Like I would like to, because if I reset this, then this will never ever really get checked, because this will always be null. Which may be the point, but without testing too many things at the same time, try to isolate what I'm trying to do here. So if we make it through and this does at least have these, user store does have these values, then that's cool. Then in token amounts and decimals and stuff like that, like conversion, that's fine. That seems to be working well. Generate the escrow PDA, yada, yada, yada. What I need to do is update, check if form state out token meant SOL. And grab the actual yeah, so like if form state dot out token meant, then I need to update or reassign it to a different string. And I don't want to change this, a little wonky. Like I've got this working just fine. Yeah, but what I'd like to do instead is let's just grab the constants dot sol public key, and I'm gonna make that go to this is kind of silly, but yeah, like if it is SOL, then let's reassign it to a base 58 string of the actual public key, which is this, I discovered. And then now form out token mint. This probably will affect, because I'm updating this variable, it probably will mess up my UI possibly. We'll see. But it should be a string, which then is converted back into a public key. So then the transaction can execute. Let's see. Do 0.7, and let's do this token again. And let's say we want 0.4. Now, I need to confirm that the tokens are right, like decimals are right, but raw amount, in amount. Let's see. Hey. Account not initialized. Error number. The program expected this account to be already initialized. Yeah. Handle initialize. Yeah. Oh, look. So look, I did change my form state to SOL. Interesting. And then this, so it prints the string under here. Interesting. But this account not initialized, I feel, I feel as if by providing, I mean, yeah, it messes up my UI for sure. That's not what I had in mind. But which one was it? 150. Where's this at? Yeah, okay, so this executing my method, my instruction function is causing the problem. Account not initialized. I feel as if the seller out token ATA, which in this case is user store out token ATA, which is the matching wallet address. I wonder if that's the problem. I wonder if this log is stopped because of previous errors. So it's not showing. Yeah. The program expected this account to already be initialized. What is this? That's a little different. I'm gonna have to research this a bit, but I feel that this is ultimately if I go to my context and validation struct, this initialize, yeah. Let's kind of scroll this. So the custom program's fine. Out mint seller out token account. Which is the ATA. See, this I think could be the problem. It's showing as a token account, which is owned by it's a state account of the SPL token program. So yeah, I kind of feel as if this may be the issue, and I kind of thought that it would be a little bit more involved, because we are talking about SPL tokens, and I think every other token I think is fine, but SOL is unique, I believe. I need to really read up on this a bit more, because the token accounts, SPL tokens, that could include NFTs as well. They're all tokens, SPL tokens, but SOL I think is unique. And so yeah, I need to this may become a bit of a bigger task than what I originally thought. So I'm just going to do So yeah, we'll try that. See what we can do. Been thinking and looking into this whole supporting SOL, being able to create an escrow that involves the SOL token for SPL tokens. I think the original error that I was getting with the account, anchor error, expecting the account to be initialized, yada, yada, yada. I think the issue involves the seller's out token account. When we looked at it and in a little bit more detail, we found that the for initialize and for others, this is a much bigger problem or task, I should say, not problem, but just it's a bit more involved, just because the SOL token is not created or treated like it's not an SPL token. So one of the things after searching on the Discord, the Anchor Discord, and just and whatnot, is came up with the idea of working with wrapped SOL. So wrapped SOL seems to be the SPL token. It's like if you're wanting to treat SOL like an SPL token, then wrapped SOL is kind of it's kind of a common approach, and there's some support in place to do that. So I've got some examples of wrapping SOL. The Solana cookbook shows that you're essentially, you can add balance to a wrapped SOL. So it looks like what you have to do is you're creating an account, like a token account for what they have is the native mint. This is coming directly from the SPL token program. And when I printed that out, it's just like SOL, but the public key is SOL. It's like the SO111, but all the way at the very last one is a 2. So it's a different public key. But you can kind of see the same kind of thing. It's like you initialize a token account, as create initialize account instruction. I've worked with the create initialize mint instruction in my test. And then there's this transfer instruction, which is really, you're creating an associated token account for wrapped SOL. So you have getting an associated token account, you pass in the native mint address and the owner, the wallet address, and there you go, you're getting your ATA. So they're basically creating like an ATA for wrapped SOL. And then you transfer that SOL, the amount, or that wrapped, you transfer, and what it will do is it will do just that. You now have a ATA with wrapped SOL inside. So this is one example. I also found another example on the in the Solana program library, wrapping SOL in a token. This sync native updates the amount field on the token account to match the amount of wrapped SOL available. SOL is only retrievable by closing the token account and choosing the desired address to send the token account's LAN ports. So it's like you wrap it all up, send it to an ATA, and then whenever you want to unwrap that and unwrap it and get native SOL back, it looks like you have to close that token account. And so here's an example in the docs where they're doing just like in the cookbook. You're getting the associated token account, by passing the native mint constant and the wallet's public key, performing, creating the ATA account instruction. Very similar. We've done this before. And then you send it. Transfer SOL to associated token account and use sync native to update wrapped SOL balance. So there's one extra step, I guess, involved, create sync native instruction, something like that. But essentially that's that. So once you do the whole send and confirm and sign it, then just like anything, you can use the get account, and that will get you the associated token account info. And sure enough, like that seems to be the deal to work. But then, like they said, you have to cancel. You have to close the account. So, you get the wallet balance here. They show, and then if you close that associated token account, and then I guess in here you're specifying, the destination wallet essentially, and sign, all that. Then there you go. Now, it does show that there are some LAN ports removed for involving transaction fees, but that seems to be the case, or a standard approach. One of the big questions I have is like, in my program, do I completely create like almost duplicate or just a whole new set of instructions and validation structs to support SOL and SPL or transfers? But I think regardless, I'm going to have to modify some of my instructions anyway if I want to enable or allow to support SOL from either the buyer or the seller. I can imagine, a seller could initialize an escrow and say they will pay 2 SOL. So the out token could be SOL. And in exchange, they're wanting some SPL token, for example. Then that means that, to initialize this seller out token account, like this issue, like in that case, I'm going to have to, if they're wanting to initialize an escrow with SOL, then it looks as if I'm going to have to, and I've got some just brainstorming notes in here. It looks like I'm going to have to create this whole, wrapped SOL associated token account in the user's wallet, and then pass that as the, their out token account, which the mint and everything would actually point to the native mint, the wrapped SOL mint. It's kind of what I'm understanding. Now, I do have a question. I'm not sure if wrapped SOL, WSOL, also has the type mint. I would think it would, just because you can derive associated token accounts from it. So I think that shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, the idea is like maybe I'll create an ATA for the wrap SOL into the user's wallet, transfer the amount that they specify, to that ATA, which then will take the, so that performs like a transfer of native SOL that does the whole kind of wrapping. Yeah. And then, yeah, so transfer, like from the wallet to the associated token account, the amount in LAN ports, and then sync the balances between it. And then there you go. So something like that. So after I do this kind of bit of doing the ATA from the seller or the user's wallet, then could kind of kick off the rest of my initialized instruction, which, you know, where do I have it? Which performs like the transfer. You know, it takes the this out token account, you know, this wrapped SOL out token account, transfers that to the escrowed token account, and the amount and everything aligns. So I feel like you could kind of do that. Now, one of the things to consider, and again, I think this would just be the case regardless if I want to add the ability to support SOL, I'm going to need to how do we unwrap the unwrapping of it is going to be a little bit different, because they use the SPL tokens close account, and I've used that. So SPL token, or wait, I think it's called token close. Yeah, close account. Yeah. So I've used that, and what happens is that in this case, my escrow, I've transferred authority to my escrow PDA. So I have to do a CPI context with signer, so I can use my PDA as the authority to sign. But when you regardless, the close account is you need the token program, and then the close account instruction is what is the account that you want to close. So it's an actual like token account. So it's this escrowed token account that we have. When we close this, like on a normal like cancel instruction, and then the destination is like, okay, yeah, where are we refunding? Where do we send the balance? So my understanding is that we're gonna have to do basically that, closing the account, which will essentially unwrap. So here they're closing the associated token account on the that was created to hold the users, the wallet's original, like the WSOL, the wrap SOL. So I'm not sure. I feel as if basically this is just an example, but if you can imagine, if I'm replacing this associated token account to instead be this escrowed out token account, if that could work, then if we cancel, like if we cancel and close, like if we were doing a cancel, then this would cancel, like this would essentially be wrapped SOL, and the destination would send it back to the seller wallet as native SOL. If they accept, then the buyer, these are some things that may have to change, and this is why this turns into certainly a bigger task than just changing a couple fields, like at least from what I gather, because the buyer, say they accept, well, then the buyer's in token account we do this transfer and stuff like from to an in token account. But what if, since we're talking about SOL here, like this would be like wrapped SOL, and the buyer's in token account would have to be a wrapped SOL ATA, right? So it gets a little wonky, just because, so I don't know if I need to like create ATAs and stuff, but like this is an issue. There's not really a buyer in token account in this case. It's really because I don't want to send them wrapped SOL, preferably. And at the end of the day, they want native SOL for the exchange. So, yeah, it's like you can imagine some extra steps where like we create a temporary ATA transfer and then close it. That seems weird and inefficient. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm just thinking like, how would I approach this? Obviously I would need to know, I would have to change some of these instructions and the validation structs to support SOL as an escrow token. Gets a little bit, different. Like ideally you just close it. If whenever the SOL or wrapped SOL is involved, we just want to close the account that it's in, and that should be how we unwrap it all. So got to continue looking into it, but this would, if I can do that in a way in the program, then maybe I won't have to worry or bother with that middle step of creating a kind of a temporary WSOL ATA on the buyer, as the buyer in token account, making the transfer, and then closing the buyer's. Yeah, that just doesn't seem like that to be the case, because also I wouldn't have the authority, I guess, as the accept instruction. It's the buyer that is accepting it, so the buyer could sign on that to, close this and close that. If we created like some temporary wrapped SOL ATA in the buyer's wallet, made the transfer, and then add an additional close account instruction that does exactly that. It closes the account and sets the buyer's wallet as the destination, so then it will unwrap the wrapped SOL and finally hit the buyer's wallet correctly. Yeah, maybe I'm not sure if that's the right way or if that's standard, but yeah. So I think coming in, I'm gonna have to add some checks in there, some logic. It's like, how can I check if the mint is if we're dealing with SOL or wrap SOL or not. So anyway, that's where I'm at, just brainstorming some ideas. I'm gonna continue to research, but much certainly complicates things. Just trying to support native SOL.